日本ファルコムコーポレーション。
Hello everybody, Sheepvice here, welcome back to Let's Play East 1 Chronicles. Last time we made it here to the final door of the game. Okay, so before we actually start this boss battle, I want to give a little backstory on Dark Fact that's not mentioned in the game. So Dark's parents, knowing of the books of the East, how they warned about the evils of Claria ore, they warned the miners not to mine it. But the miners didn't care, they just wanted their money. And Dark's parents kept getting in the way, so they just ended up killing his parents. And once they were killed, Dark was never seen again after that. So I guess he has a little bit of a reason for being so upset, but we still have to stop him, because if he doesn't, the world could be in danger. Yes, that is us. Thank you. And how's that? I guess because we've brought all the books to him. Alright then. Well, here we go. The fight against Dark Fact. Final battle in the game. So, when you hit Dark Fact, he makes the tile that's directly below him when you hit him disappear. If you're standing on the tile when it disappears, you will instantly die. And obviously he has these meteors that are constantly hitting you, so he's hitting you indirectly, much like Genocres of the first boss. So the idea of this fight is we want to hit him near the edge of the screen, so that we can have as much ground as possible to walk on. I really don't know a good strategy other than that. Just try and hit him on the edge of the screen as opposed to right in the middle like I'm doing. Oh, as you see there, I was stuck on the tile, so it just disappeared. So this boss fight is kind of similar to the Conslard fight in that you need to defeat him before he can defeat you, so that was a terrible idea. Well, now we're stuck on the left half. Yeah, I'm not very good at this boss at all, and I tried to find a good strategy, but just can't figure anything out that helps us consistently beat him. I guess much like Vigolian. As I mentioned last episode, you need to have the silver equipment equipped. Otherwise, you'll never be able to beat him, because you only do like 1 damage to him, and he does ridiculous amounts to you. If you don't have the silver equipment equipped, you've got no shot. Gets difficult once there's a lot of holes in the ground. Oops. with that, Dark Fact's reign is finally over. We've stopped him from using the Books of East for evil. And we save Asteria, finally. If you look under his cloak, you can see the final Book of East. So, let's go ahead and see what it says. This is Fact's book, of course. Suddenly, in the new light of the rising sun, his siege stopped. Wherefore it happened, no one knows, even now. But there was rejoicing, for it meant the end of our suffering. To ensure that he should never return, we have sealed away the power of East. It lies within the 6 books, and will be given to the one who collects them all, so that he may become a guide and lead us to peace. But heed, ye who read these words, those who use the powers of demons shall one day be consumed by them. The prosperity held within is a lie. It is he who leads that shapes the form of evil. All that is, jewel and adamant alike, is a treasure of East, as given us by our merciful goddesses. Well, it seems, according to that book, that Dark was being controlled by someone else. So our job here is not quite done. The morning sun began to rise. Gradually the sky brightened and the tower's outline began to shimmer like a mirage. As if freed from captivity, birds began to sing and the demons dissolved into air. Adol felt the weight of a long journey lift from his heart. The world was at peace. It was as though the historic bounty of East had been laid before him to fill his eyes and soul. As the things written in the books vanished one by one, the shapes of the goddesses began to materialize. Though their faces were unfamiliar, Adol felt in some way that he had always known them. As he looked down upon the earth, he could see Jebba's house, quiet and humble. He wondered if Fina's memory had come back. He decided that when he returned, he would immediately tell her of all he had seen. A dazzling light, seemingly from all sides at once, bathed Adol in radiance. He felt certain that it must be wishing him peace and good fortune. And so, Adol began a new journey. But that's not a journey we'll be seeing until we play through East 2. Which I'm not going to do directly after this. I've only beaten it once, so I need some practice first. I will definitely do it, as it is a direct sequel. If you're not going to play it for yourself, and you're watching along, then you probably want some closure to that. But yes, as Book Fact mentioned, apparently Dark Fact was not the one pulling the strings. Just a puppet, and whoever the book was referring to. But we won't get to find out about that until East 2. Anyway, let's talk about East 1, the Chronicles version, that is. I haven't played too many versions, only this one and the DS version of East 1 and 2. But this one, definitely far better. From what I read, the DS version wasn't even made by Falcom, and they did a lot of weird things, obviously, by adding a new dungeon. I like the new dungeon, but this one overall is a lot better. Music arrangements, just completely awesome. The sprite art, as I mentioned at the beginning, is just absolutely beautiful. I love the sprite art of this game. I know people who just hate 2D games in general, only play 3D games. I don't know why. Game is a game either way. As long as you're having fun, who cares whether it's 2D or 3D? And this is definitely one of my favorite games. I love the E-series as soon as I found out about it a few years back. And this series is only slightly younger than Legend of Zelda. I think the first game came out less than a year after the first Legend of Zelda, and I didn't find out until it was 2010? Yeah, it was about 3.5 years ago now. So if you haven't played this game yet, it's on PSP as well as on PlayStation Network, so if you have a Vita, you can download it for that. It's also on Steam. Steam version has the same gameplay, but the guys at XC, they incorporated some of the complete East 1 and 2 complete version into the game, so there's a little bit of extra features in that you could take a look at. They have a nice graphic that goes around the game that you could look at. But I started the LP before the Steam version came out in America, so that's why I'm playing on the PSP. I haven't decided whether or not I'll do East 2 on PSP or on the computer. I would say I could make it look a little bit better if I recorded it on the computer, but we'll see what happens there. I guess we could talk about the gameplay of East 1. It's definitely the simplest of all the East games. Well, that and East 2 is also, at least all the recent ones that are in America. But there is some strategy to the gameplay. You can't just hit enemies head on. You have to do it at a slight off-center. And the boss is definitely difficult. So that's really awesome. I'm sorry I couldn't be better on the final boss, but the little montage with the final boss theme will help out, because that boss fight is really short, whether it goes either way. Yeah, so you never really get to hear the full boss music. And the song that plays during that little segment right before the credits, I love that song too. Well, I think that's about it for East 1. I'll see you in my next Let's Play, which won't be East 2, but that'll come eventually, like I mentioned. So, whenever we meet again, I'll see you then.